When we talk about sexual and reproductive health, it is important that you know and really understand what rights you have in regards to your sexual and reproductive health. Our sexual and reproductive rights are part of our human rights. And as a leader, you can play a meaningful role for your players to always talk about sexual and reproductive health from a rights-based perspective. Meaning that you, along with talking about sexual and reproductive health, you also talk about the rights we are all entitled to when it comes to our sexual and reproductive health. So what are these rights then, and how do we explain them to young children? The right to explore and enjoy your sexuality without fear, shame, false convictions, or other barriers. So, everyone has the right to discover, like, and enjoy your body. Your body should make you feel good and proud without feeling afraid or ashamed. The right to choose whether or not, when, and with whom to have sex. So everyone has the right to choose who they want to be with or not, when they want to be with that person or not. For example, you have the right to decide who you want to play with or who you want to hug or not hug, if that person also wants to hug you. The right to decide whether or not, when, and who to marry. So everyone has the right to decide which one to fall in love with and marry. It is unacceptable if anyone starts to treat you badly or in any way hinders you to do something because of who you like. No one can force you to be with someone or marry someone if you don't want to. The right to choose whether or not, when, with whom, and how many children to have. So everyone has the right to decide if they want to become a parent or not. Everyone also has the right to decide when, with whom, and how many children they want. The right to express your sexuality without being subjected to violence or forced to do something you do not want. So everyone has the right to be just the way you are and enjoy what you like, without anyone telling you mean things, beating you, or forcing you to do something you do not want. The right to express your sexual orientation freely and independently. So everyone has the right to fall in love with whoever they want and the right to be in love with someone openly. The right to use prophylactics, products that prevent transmission of diseases like condoms, and contraceptives, products that prevent pregnancy like birth control pills. So everyone has the right to decide over their own body. Therefore, you can also demand any type of protection to prevent unwanted pregnancies and diseases. The right to have your own body and its boundaries respected and not have others to force you to do something you do not want. So everyone has the right to decide over your own body. No one should ever be able to do something with you or to your body if you do not want it. The right to equality, mutual respect, and shared responsibilities in sexual relationships. So everyone has the right to be respected and treated equally. You have the right to be respected in any relationship, and you and your partner do have a mutual responsibility for a good relationship. The right to receive information about sexual and reproductive health to be able to decide what is best for you. So everyone has the right to receive information and knowledge about sexual and reproductive health, so that you know how you can take care of your body, and especially your genitals, such as your vagina or penis, to know what is best for you and to be able to make decisions that are good for you. The right to sexual and reproductive health, which means the rights to get education and information about sexual health and confidential services. So everyone has the right to feel good and be in good health, which means that everyone has the right to receive information about health and get education about how you can stay healthy. Everyone should be able to talk to someone confidentially, which means that whatever information you disclose will be kept secret and not spread to others. The right to participation, equality, equal protection from the law, and freedom from all forms of discrimination based on sex, sexual orientation, or gender. So everyone has the right to be themselves and express their sexuality and themselves everywhere and be treated equally by everyone, with no one calling them names, treating them badly, or hindering them from participating in anything based on who you are or who you fall in love with. So those are our sexual and reproductive rights, and they are all part of our human rights and thus apply to everyone. Everyone has the right to decide on their own sexuality as long as it does not harm anyone else. Remember, your rights end where someone else's rights begin. Our rights depend on us understanding them and respecting them. Otherwise, we run the risk of undermining our rights. We cannot take them for granted, but must always stand up for them. For our rights to be respected, we need actual conditions for our rights to be practically possible. So the government is responsible for safeguarding our rights, for example, by providing sex education, healthcare, and so on. We also need awareness and knowledge of our rights. If we do not know about our rights, we will not be able to claim them or respect ours or others' rights. And we also need self-esteem. If I have strong self-esteem, I know that these rights belong to me, that I am worthy of my rights being respected, and that I can demand these rights. I also know that I should respect the rights of others, what those rights mean, and how I should do to respect them. Again, it's difficult as football coaches to influence the actual conditions in society. But we can definitely influence our players' awareness and knowledge of their rights and their self-esteem. There is, or at least there should be, sex education in school. But then that is very dependent on the teacher. And of course, some feel that this is the parents' responsibility. But we know that there will be parents who talk about this with their children and parents who do not. So what we know for certain is that children will have completely different experiences in understanding their sexuality and rights. We therefore need to find more forums where we can talk to young people about sexuality and rights. And since we have created a safe space on our football teams, we already have the conditions needed to openly talk about these things. This is especially important since we unfortunately know that many times these rights are not respected. When our sexual and reproductive rights are not respected, when the boundaries we set for our bodies are not respected, or when someone does something to us in our bodies that we do not want, this is abuse and can be called sexualization. Talking about sensuality, intimacy, identity, and sexual and reproductive health and rights is very important in preventing and reducing sexualization, to prevent that our girls experience any forms of abuse, violence, or sexualization. In the next module, we will talk more about how you as a coach and leader can prevent violence and sexualization in your community.